Hello, everyone, and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, the official podcast of Marvel Snap Zone. And before we go anywhere with the four decks we're going to talk about today, I'd like to let you know that this is video one of two for the day. And for most of you watching this for most of the day, all you have to do is go check out our Patreon. You can join for completely free, and you can see the second video that we're going to release today. It's a high voltage guide with a bunch of high voltage decks from top players. So if you're interested, please do check out patreon.com/snapjudgments. But as always, for video number one, we have the best decks in Marvel Snap for you before anyone else. We're going to begin with Buddy's Kitty Hammers. This is the Kitty is Zabu, by the way, not Kitty Pride. This is a Zabu Thor's deck that's also running Lockjaw. Buddy has been trying to create this deck forever to make it work, and the change to Zabu finally put it over the top. And this is a real deck when I played a bunch today and had a lot of success with. It's a really fun list with a ton of different play lines to really enjoy. You can find Buddy literally explaining this list himself at youtube.com/@BuddySnap. Please do check out our friend. He's a phenomenal Marvel Snap player and one of the best deck builders, most creative deck builders that you'll ever meet. This deck needs Zabu, Beta Ray Bill, and Scar, but Phastos can just be Rogue if you're not a person who owns Phastos. And honestly, even though Phastos is in some more decks, you're probably fine not owning Phastos right now. All right, so Buddy finally got this list working. Turn 1, you want a Zabu. Turn 2, you Psylocke if Lockjaw, or you don't have a 3. You would generally rather not Psylocke into Beta Ray Bill. If you can Phastos or Crossbones, you're fine just taking your time in that way. At that point, you're going to drop Okoye, but you can still drop Psylocke if you have nothing else to do. It's a perfectly fine card to play. Turn 3, you can drop a 4 or Thor, and those two cards are generally better than Phastos. Phastos is, I don't have anything else going on right now, the play. Turn 4, you want Lockjaw of cheap stuff versus Beta Ray Bill, and that's generally speaking better than dropping Crossbones. Dropping Crossbones is fine, you do have Scar in the list. Turn 5, if you've played either Thor, you want a Jane. If you've played both Thors, for the love of God, Jane. Because then you can still Lockjaw, and Thors to end the game, right? Or you can just play some cards in Jaw. Once in a while, I'll just drop an Okoye and a Phastos together into a Lockjaw at that point and say this lane's going to be really, really strong. And then turn 6, you want Scar and Hammers and Shang if you can. So if you've gotten big enough stuff, i.e. you played Okoye, so Jane's a 10, and then you played Crossbones, for example, and then you played Thor, you can play Scar for 2 with Shang-Chi, and then you can play a Mjolnir as well. And it's just crazy power. If you went Psylocke into Beta Ray Bill, you can do the exact same play line. Tons of power to this one. I hope you check it out. Right after this, though, we're going to talk about the thumbnail deck, which is the newest Toxic Sera from the great Rivas. And Rivas, if you don't know, is like the king of Sera lists. This is the Buddy Kitty Hammers list. One last look at it. And now I'm going to ask you to hit that sub button if you are so inclined. We bring you 7 days a week of Marvel Snap videos. Several days a week, we do 2 full-length videos a day. We do shorts that break down bundles. We give you at least 4 new decks every day. We cover Marvel Snap in a way no one else in the community does. And I hope that earns your support and earns your subscription. If you're willing to hit that sub button, it would mean the world to us as we try to reach 15,000 subs by the end of 2024. A like and comment convinces YouTube to show this video to more people, and that would help as well. In addition, that like and comment really helping us out by getting people to watch the video. It also can enter you to, as long as you're subbed, win a season pass. Later this video, I'm going to ask a question. Your answer to that question will enter you to win a Agent Venom season pass. We're giving away 1 Agent Venom this week, 1 Agent Venom next week, and then the week after that, we're giving away 5 of next month's season pass. So if you're interested in getting a free season pass, this is also the channel for you. We also have a Pokemon Pocket channel. I'm not going to sell this too hard now because we're waiting for the game to actually release across the world to really push that content. But if you're interested in a Marvel Snap-like Pokemon game, check out the Pocket Meta. It's linked in the description to this video. All right, Rivas's Sera. This list is really good. Rivas, so you might or might not remember this. Rivas created the Sera list that was meta around December, January of last year. He's just always on top of really, really top-notch Sera lists, and I think this is currently one of the most powerful Sera lists in the game of Marvel Snap. Even if there is one card that I would 1000% change, it's Nocturne. I don't think Nocturne should be here. but this list is super duper strong. People have stopped running Luke Cage in the absence of Hela being in the meta, and all of a sudden, all of these cards, especially Super Skrull with Iron Man, one of those popular cards, are just so very strong. All right, you can find Rivas at twitch.tv/RivasMS. For this list, you need Zabu, Ajax, US Agent, and Man-Thing. Hopefully, you got Man-Thing in recent spotlights. Ajax is a card I told everyone to buy, and I took a bunch of heat for from various content creators who were like, Ajax isn't that good. Ajax is an absolute meta card and powerhouse. Zabu Series 4, and probably, I believe, the oldest card to still be in Series 4. And then US Agent is the card that was recently in spotlights, but probably the fewest people here have that or Ajax. Nocturne and Copycat are both replaceable. I think you want Copycat, but I would cut Nocturne almost no matter what for Rogue. They can also be Cosmo, Red Guardian, so on. I think Rogue, Red Guardian, and Copycat are the 3 best placed 3-drops in Marvel Snap right now, and that's where I want to be. Ms. Marvel is very good in the absence of junk. It's fairly easy to get her ability off. You can run her, but if you don't have her, it's not the end of the world. Feel free to run Omega Red instead. All right, so this is one of the I spelled that fun. This is one of the decks that was in the Creator Gauntlet, and Rivas went 5-1 with it. I took this onto ladder and had a lot of success as well. I think this list is through the roof powerful. This list only lost to the Teebs list that we featured 2 days ago in I want to say it was Monday's video, the Silver Surfer based video. So turn 1, you want Zabu. Turn 2, you would play Zabu over US Agent or passing, but you don't do anything else. Turn 3, you play Luke, or if you have a cheap 4, you probably play that cheap 4, whether that be Man-Thing or Ms. Marvel. Turn 4 is Man-Thing or Ms. Marvel as well, and you'll know when to Super Skrull. Sometimes you Super Skrull on 4. Like, sometimes your opponent's going to have no choice but to play ongoing cards, and you can drop Super Skrull. However, if you can wait to drop Super Skrull, that's better. Turn 5, you generally want Sera over Ajax. There's games where you're going to want Ajax, and you're just going to want to play other cards, right? Like, if you got a cheap Super Skrull, and then you have Hazmat, right? Like, you're perfectly fine waiting, but, like, generally speaking, you'd rather, because sometimes you want to, like, Hazmat and Super Skrull on the last turn, right? And if you want to do Hazmat Super Skrull at the end, then you just drop Ajax a turn earlier, because that's why you wanted a Hazmat in the first place. Sera is perfectly fine most of the time, because Sera opens up the play of Ajax and Hazmat, which is incredibly strong. Obviously, you can go Ajax, Hazmat, US Agent, which is game winning, or you can just play sort of a bunch of cards. And it's really hard to know exactly what those could be, because Zabu could make your 4s. If you play Sera, cost 2, which means you can go, for example, you can go Man-Thing, Ms. Marvel, Copycat, right? And then there's just an insane amount of power in that. That's part of why I want Rogue, right? Because if you're putting down that much power and you can steal their Iron Man with your Rogue as well, it's just insane. So Teebs has another one of my favorite decks after this. It is not the deck that beat this. We covered that already. I was like, Teebs, do you have any other decks? And they sent me this other really cool deck that we'll look at right after this. But this Rivas Sera deck is through the roof, must play. It would not shock me if in a few weeks we turn around and this has one of the highest win rates in Marvel Snap and has become a meta deck. Play it now before it's everywhere. If you would like to see gameplay for this outside of checking out Rivas' stream, which you should 100% do, please check out the stream team. Today is Wednesday, so GamingwithFlashX between 9 and 10 p.m. Eastern will be going live to play these lists. And look, Flash, no bounce, so check it out. Prashaun also has a video up of yesterday's decks if you're so interested. And please don't forget, there's a second video today, so I'm going to make Flash play some of these high voltage decks that you could see again right now on our Patreon for free. Go check out our Patreon, sign up for free, and you can early access the high voltage video with 10 decks from absolute top Marvel Snap players. All right, Teebs Secret Meta Destroyer. I wrote Teebs, I'm sorry, but it's Teebs Secret Meta Destroyer. This list is super good. It needs one change, just like that last list, but Teebs has been rocking with this list, and then Teebs rocked one of Safety's friends with it, and then Safety got a hold of it, and Safety was like, oh my god, this list is incredible. This list is absolutely incredible. Yesterday, I said there was another list in addition to the Phoenix Force list that was making me really think that you should go get Misery. This is that list. This list is so good. Go get it. Also, I just realized a change I want to make for it. So you can find Teebs at twitch.tv/Teebs. Please do go check them out. Awesome human being. This deck needs Ravonna, Sage, Misery, and Cassandra. And it also needs Agent Venom. You're sort of choosing between Ravonna and Agent Venom. You're giving yourself multiple options. When you play one, you usually don't play the other. Misery is the key here. Goblin should be cut for Wong or Rogue. I'm actually going to cut Goblin for Phoenix Force because I see very little reason not to just run the damn Phoenix Force with Misery here. Worst case, I've just got a decent body here. But if I can use Misery to get rid of a hood, I can do the Cassandra Nova game plan that was mentioned in the comments yesterday, where if you go Cassandra Nova into Phoenix Force in a location, and then you play Misery on that lane, it's Misery is not going to destroy Phoenix Force. It's just going to make you a triple trigger Cassandra Nova. That would be super huge. So I think that's worth doing with Phoenix Force. I think Phoenix, you can get the same basic play out of Sage or Ironheart at that point. Which is just insanely strong. You can get that play out of White Tiger, getting that extra White Tiger, just making a Phoenix Force just making a Phoenix Force White Tiger as a way to get an extra White Tiger seems good. So I'm actually going to I'm actually going to try that as Phoenix Force. Uh, but Goblin is wrong here because you don't want to make a 4-power Goblin. A 3/4 Goblin doesn't really help you. Grandmaster can be Absorb Man without losing too very much here. And Silver Sable is huge, phenomenal in this deck, but Rocket Raccoon and Iceman are fine. Reasonably often, you end up Grandmastering that Silver Sable and just having a 1/5 that's really representing a 1/9 in stats. 1/9 is a lot of stats, y'all. All right, that's that. That's this list replacements. Teebs is crushing with this. I love this list. Turn 1, you want Hood or Silver Sable. Turn 2, you want Agent Venom, generally speaking greater than Ravona, although there are times when you would rather just play Ravona, right? Like if your hand is already full of Sage, Ironheart, Cassandra Nova, etc., at that point you're just going to drop your Ravona and keep going. And that's generally better than a Grandmaster on a 1, and you're fine getting a second Demon or getting Sable. Turn 3, you want Cassandra over Ironheart, as a general rule. Turn 4, you want Misery or White Tiger. You can Misery that Ironheart and just start getting power all over the place, or you can White Tiger. Turn 5 is a 1+ Misery, and you can just go Hood into Misery just straight up at that point, or you can play White Tiger. Turn 5, Demons and Sage, or Misery on Tiger and White Widow. Misery on Tiger and Ironheart. I don't know why I said White Widow. And that should be enough to win the game as well. Because then you're putting 6 extra power and an extra 8-power Tiger everywhere and getting rid of a couple no-power things to end up with 7 power. They thought you were going to Odin, and you end up often with hitting that with Ironheart, which ends up being 9 power, not 8 power, which is an extra way to steal some cubes. I'm telling you, I'm just genuinely going to go into my game as soon as I'm done with this video and make Green Goblin be Phoenix Force, because I've got it as Wong right now, and I don't really like Wong with this much Cosmo in the meta, but Phoenix Force seems like it'd be real good, because people are like, once you play that Phoenix Force, it's like, oh, what the hell, who cares about that? And then you're able to just sort of go over the top in a really cool way, and I'm super hyped for this. I love this list. I've been having a ton of success with this list. It's one of my favorite lists in the game right now. Do play it if you're able to. This and yesterday's list are why I think Misery was a card that was worth buying, when literally on Sunday I did not. The sort of out there list that showed up in the last minute for this made Misery a really great card. And once it's a 4/8, like chef's freaking kiss. Apparently next Thursday, it's going to become a 4/8. All right, so we have a problem. They decided to compensate us on splits. So Marvel Snap has been underserving splits without announcing it for the last several months, last like 3 months, by accident. They pushed through an update by accident that they didn't mean to, and no one noticed until our friend Lauren Whatevs figured it out. So what they're doing in compensation was, first they're giving us bonus splits until December. Then they're giving us Magneto and a rainbow border, both of which are fine as compensation, but they're only a start. They are not nearly enough, and I'm letting the community know. I want to raise awareness so people know, so that people can tell Second Dinner that they need to do more. Because the bonus split percentage only counts free credits earned in that time period where it was bugged. But people had credits saved for months and months, right? People had free credits that they had already saved. People had thousands of boosters on cards. I have like 15 splits of Professor X because rates were down, right? All those boosters I used on Professor X are now gone. All those credits I used were now gone. I also paid credits and used gold. I paid 4 credits in bundles and used gold that I got for extra credits. All of that is now gone. They did not account for that in increasing this boost. Instead, in order to get the most value out of that boost split percentage, what they're asking me to do is they're asking me to spend as much those previous months as I did when I was getting screwed. And that's not okay. I can find this completely unacceptable. Lauren Whatevs has the fix. We're going to look at it on the next slide. But I'm going to tell you not to only follow Lauren Whatevs on Twitter, but also remember to check out her podcast, Snap on This, with our friends Ree and Benjamin Roller as well. It's one of the best podcasts in Marvel Snap from 3 amazingly charming and kind and wonderful and brilliant human beings. All right, so before the 820 patch, we've got the actual percentages. I'm not going to read these to you. You can see what the patches percentage was before the 820 patch. Then after the 820 patch, we were losing like a ridiculous amount of percent for all these different things to actually happen. Generally speaking, the actual was down like 8%, 7%, excuse me. And then for whatever reason, just ink actually got killed. So the temporary boost is pushing us back up to 35%, which is significantly higher than it should have been. At like 25%, we're getting like 9%. So the compensation given money spent at minimum should be this extra amount of credits and boosters and so on. So we need far greater percentage in order to make up for that. So they could just say instead of boosting this rate by 35, we're going to do 47, and that would make up for the extra rate. But we need to make sure that we boost things significantly higher than we have right now in order for this to actually be valuable. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. If it doesn't, take some extra time on this slide, and I promise you it will. My audience is the smartest in the community. I'm not even being like hyperbolic. The people who watch this channel are like, generally speaking, super high level thinkers. All right, so how do you feel about the split error and fix is our season pass question. If you'd like to win the season pass, please answer that question. Cool. So this is I threw the split rates here on this video. It's got all the percentages for where we are right now, and I know that was on the previous slide, but I just want to show you what it is, just as a quick reference for what it is right now with the bonus rate. And then at the end of the video, someone did a ridiculous amount of splits, and we're going to take a moment. Kodengoa of Snap Snapper Treat on Twitter has a bunch of different splits, and we're just going to watch a video, a bunch of really cool splits that were achieved since this update, because I don't know, that seems like a cool thing to do. Y'all good? Y'all good. Next up, we have Molwin's Green Moon. Molwin is a regular here on this channel. He always plays really cool decks. He was number 4 several seasons ago and then sort of stopped trying to climb. He started trying to climb again, and this deck has been absolutely incredible and pivotal as the main deck for the last 2 seasons that he's used to do so since Black Swan's buff. For this list, you need Gwenpool, Hope, and Black Swan. I didn't write Black Swan. I'm wrong. It should be there. You need those 3 cards. Black Swan and Hope are fundamentally your redundancy to make sure you can do the thing. Hydra Bob can be Titania or Martyr, because you should be able to throw priority relatively easily. Hitmonkey can be Sage. I know that's a Series 4 or Series 5, but that's just kind of what it is. Someone suggested that you try Wolfsbane here, and I don't think Wolfsbane's good enough, but hey, if you want to try it, try it. Makari can be Ant-Man or whatever other one. Makari is here because it gets out of your hand and lets you Moon Girl and Gwenpool more effectively. So turn 1 is Sunspotter Quinjet. Turn 2 is Swan, Sunspotter Quinjet. Depends how many ones you've seen. Generally speaking, I like to get Sunspot and Quinjet out. Sunspot is important if I think I'm going to be playing She-Hulk later. Quinjet is important if I think I'm going to be playing Moon Girl later. Swan is important if I'm going for the monkey path and I don't see many of my other combos. Generally speaking, that means I'm going to Gwenpool on 5 and trigger my Swan. And then I'm going to play Mysterio, Hitmonkey, and a bunch of free ones. Turn 3 is the aforementioned 2+1. Swan and Sunspot, Swan and Quinjet, or Hope. I would rather get those other cards out than Hope if I have Gwenpool and Moon Girl in hand. So turn 4 is Gwenpool or Moon Girl. Moon Girl if you're hitting double She-Hulk, generally speaking, or a bunch of ones that you can make free with Swan out. If not, I think Gwenpool is great, particularly if you have Mysterio in hand. You can always Gwenpool here and then Mysterio, Gwenpool on 4. And then if you don't have She-Hulk Gwenpool, you can Moon Girl the next turn to get an extra monkey, to get extra powerful Mysterios, or to get extra ones that can be free. That's all fine. Basically, get double or whatever the hell Gwenpool hit. Turn 5, if you have double She-Hulk, you're passing. If not, you're playing cards on Hope or Moon Girl and triggering Swan. And then turn 6, you want She-Hulks and Bobs and Mysterio and Monkey, and then you win. Cool. Ton of power to this. This is one of the most explosive decks in Marvel Snap. It's also really, really hard to counter it, because even if they're going to try and Goliath you or Cosmo you've got She-Hulk, so you should be able to play around it relatively easily. She-Hulk and Hydra Bob are just crazy strong here. Sunspot gets huge. Mysterio can be super huge. There's a lot to like about this list. Please do give it some run if you have the required cards of Swan and Gwenpool and Hope. Cool. Really cool list. Again, props to Molwin, who has climbed back into the top 40 or so, I believe, with this cool list. Questions of the day. Our first is MTL asks what decks made me feel bad in the history of the game. So Galactus was not a huge problem, but there was a point where they nerfed Arrow. Arrow used to move unrevealed cards. When they nerfed Arrow, when an Arrow stopped being playable, that Galactus became oppressive. Really hated that moment. Thanos in early 2024. I didn't mind the earlier Thanos when everyone hated Thanos. It was early 2024, like January, February, March Thanos that I really, really hated. I thought it was so easily the best deck in the game and kept getting more support that it was a problem. I hated the Professor X Cannonball decks. I just couldn't beat them, honestly, and I didn't want to play them. And then we have the original, that should say arishem. I just call arishem Elliot sometimes. The original arishem, like the first month and a half of arishem, was just so boring and so every game and so random that I really didn't enjoy it. So I know those answers aren't original. Generally speaking, the things most people say are really toxic, I usually agree. I think usually people are right. There is one major exception. The Shuri Red Skull meta that everyone hated. I didn't think that deck was that bad, and I was able to beat it relatively easily. And yeah, that's where we are. All right, Ryan Wood asked my take, Friends versus Seinfeld, and I'm just going to say I hate Friends. The show Friends, I think, is absolutely terrible. Almost none of the characters feel well-rounded in any way, shape, or form. I also find them more annoying than funny. So I do not generally, I think Friends is an absolutely terrible show for the most part. Everyone has one personality trait, and they bang that one personality trait into each other in different situations. And I think the show is really frustrating, and I don't enjoy it. Season 1 is almost good, and then it just, because it's so successful, they just lean further and further into idiot TV, and I don't enjoy it. If you like it, I'm sorry, I'm just giving my opinion. Seinfeld is a show I used to really enjoy, but I struggle to watch now. The lack of likability of characters really, really hurts. It is the best situation in situation comedy ever. It has the best and most creative and most entertaining situations to watch, and I think the situations are genuinely brilliant and lead to wonderful humor. But it's the situations more than the characters who are one note again and sort of unlikable. And thus, while it was a real cultural moment when I was a kid, it's not something I really want to watch now. It is genuinely brilliant, though, and significantly smarter than Friends. I'd much rather watch Always Sunny or Curb than Seinfeld, though, which are shows within the same branch that I think do what Seinfeld does in a way that I tend to enjoy more. All right, let's look at some splits from Snap, Snap, or Treat. Y'all ready? It's right here over on Twitter. Someone messaged me. Let's ignore that and pop this out. So we are going to watch this video. So we've got this is going to be a minute, so get ready. We've got Luca already. Then we've got, look at that, look at that, look at that. Beautiful splits as quickly as possible. Oh, look at that gold Scarlet Witch. We're just clicking through this. Look at this edit job. You wish I could edit that way. I want to go back because, hang on, the best one, we just missed the best one. We got to go back a little bit more. Sorry, friends. I'm just going to keep clicking the right spot. Yeah, that Cerebro is what I wanted to look at. The gold Cerebro with the gold crackle is beautiful. So we're not getting a ton of God splits, but we are getting some really good splits here. Oh, that's a great Ant-Man. We've got gold with red flare. We've got really, really good Ant-Mans. Ant-Man apparently was just like all the money in the world. Reasonably cool Moon Girl. Very cool Enchantress. Nightcrawler. Look at that gold Angela. Apparently gold is just what's happening right now. Yeah. Rainbow Magic, black and white. I have that exact Jeff split. Steep, Killmonger, Shang. I have that Shang. I didn't buy the Phoenix Shang. If that shows up in the shop, I may get it. Rainbow Gold Iron Man. And that's it. That's the list. Cool. All right. So the splits were 10 God splits out of 39 splits. 41% in gold, 31% in ink, 39% in crackle, and then 10 God splits. So reasonably good stuff here. Let's go back. We are going to do our quick thank you to our patrons, and then we're going to hit the hay because it is late at night. So I'm going to say thank you to the following patrons relatively quickly. Thank you to Abigail Eastland, Mandatory Burnout, Irregardless, David G. Wingfield, Dire Wolf, Always Kind, LAB, FaThorNewman, Good Dog Gamer, Inc., I Am Frostman, Jay Nevreets, Corwin, Primed Ryan, hey Brian, Ryan Burke, Caretix Lee, Koire, Black Dahlia, Pyrobros, The Goat Seeker, Denman Falcon, Archangel 3K, Hollowed, Quid Pro Joe, Docty, Fat Nick, Mr. Kerfuffle, Ginger Prime, Philip Rakovich, Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, Rob Silverman, The Bizza, Extras Feet, and Skippy G. Birthday still coming, my friend. Tommy, Nyquist, King of Bros, bro. the Great Kazoo, Jessica Gamble, Ryan Wood, Woody, Kepsi Hoda, Luna, Chris, Quantum Quinn, John Q, and Jimmy McHugh, Q-Town, Clarm, Ace Sage, Models Mod Supreme, Darth Tater, Steven, Brian Kaufman, Tristan H. Martin, Jason B, JD McDonaldinho, The Fuzzy Dunlop Spectrum Mix, Woo, Matt H, DJ Mikey Hijinks, No Frickin' Flex, Ocularis, Mr. Craig Sterry, BG, Jonesy, check out the Triple Threat on YouTube. My friend Two Ties, thank you for the kindness earlier. The great Lauren Whatevs, thank you for freaking carrying this community right now. The Perry King Tuccrr, who I want to offer my sincere congratulations to once more. The homie Min, who does very much. And of course, the great Gunny T, where the T stands for. Please don't forget the second video that you can again watch right now or watch when it goes live on this channel at about 2 p.m. Eastern. Thanks so much for watching the video. Love and appreciate all of you. Have a great one.